Huh. Oh, sure. Now we're live. Go ahead and do the intro.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. So we're TwitWow, best podcast on the internet today. Blah blah blah. This is the weekly recap. And yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. First of all, we've had problems even going live. Now we're live. Hopefully this can be sustained. And we'll see what happens there, I guess. But I was farting around with Ashton before we went live, or tried to go live 3 separate fucking times. And yeah, let's just do this. Even the politics section, I know lately I've been spiking my blood pressure on this. Fuck it. They're all losers and cretins and fascists doing loser, cretinous, and fascist things. Like day that ends in Y, right? So, wrestling. Ashton, did you watch any wrestling this week?
SmackDown.
What did you think?
Mid.
There you go. I probably watched stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really don't give a fuck. The only things I really remember were Tatum Paxley has begun her games. She put one of her dolls in the culling kind of promo space, and it freaked out Ty Spears, because of course it did. And yeah, just Justin Timberlake is now in WWE. Oh wait, it's Austin Theroy. So he can fuck off. Okay, him and his. Yeah, there it is. Thinking, oh, I'm Jack now and I'm menacing and I'm shaved, bitch. I was bald literally a month ago and I wore it better than you ever could. Think about it, folks. My bald pics versus Austin Theory reveal, which got the bigger pop. You already fucking know, okay? I don't need to tell you. So, yeah, wrestling.
He thinks he's bringing sexy back, but all we want to do is say bye, bye, bye.
You know what? That's wrestling. I don't want to. That was it. So let's just move on to politics. Okay, politics. Fucking AI continues to just gobble up resources, both money, energy, and everything else. Stories coming out of Ohio that people are suing data center being built because nitrates are getting in the water, and apparently cancer's kind of rising now. My sister made an interesting point that maybe there are other environmental causes that data centers are worsening. I mean, I don't think that that's implausible, given how shitty we treat the environment and have treated the environment, for literally since the founding when we slaughtered all the indigenous people, which studies have come out and said that war and colonialism, yeah, not exactly great for the environment. Who'da thunk? So yeah, that's happening, but more and more data centers are going to be built because, well, the techopolies want it. And who are we to say no, right? I mean, the audacity of all of us to want clean air and clean drinking water. So that's happening.
See, this is why Pied Piper needed to win, because they have this compression algorithm that makes all of our data smaller. And if they just get their shit in and they become a global monopoly on compression, then there would be like a fifth of the amount of data needing to be stored, so we wouldn't need these data centers.
Bro, I am telling you, now I want to make something explicitly clear here, and again, I'm going to try and talk it like at the very least this volume. I really don't want to get worked up. These people are fucking losers. They're not worth my energy in that way. They're obviously all worth our resistance because none of us should want to live on a planet with fucking fascists. Fascists are fucking losers, and they're horrible, horrible people. But like, so I say this to say, I am not adept at Chinese history. I am not a tanky. That's the left position where it's like state communism, kind of authoritarian communism. I don't even know like how the People's Republic of China,
point, whatever their governance is. I think state communism would still be better than the shit we're dealing with right now.
I actually agree with you, but that may be a separate conversation for another time. But I do agree with you. Now that I'm willing to put on record. But I want to just be very careful before I talk about China to say, like, I'm not adept at history. I really don't know the form of government, like anything like that, right? But what I do consume, provided that it's actually true, because we know every state does propaganda. That's why I love when people are like, oh, don't you know the DBRK does this or China does that? You mean the U.S. doesn't fucking filter through propaganda? And I'm talking any president, Democrat or Republican, like, let's just all be serious. But this is why they're winning. This is why they're going to win the technological revolution. And to me, in bigger news, the energy revolution. Bro, I saw a stat today. I wish I would have posted in the fucking Discord that they are going to, they are all in on solar and renewable energy. Like the amount of solar panels that they're going to have by 2040 is fucking insane. And we
just
already
to be clear, when you say they, are you referring to the tech companies?
No, I'm talking, let me start over so I'm clear, because I know China. Sometimes I do that. I'm talking about China. Yeah, I'm talking about what China is doing and why I think they're winning, which is why I put the caveat that, like, I'm not necessarily quote unquote pro-China, which I think is a stupid thing to even have to warn about, but I digress. But it's just the facts. Like, they are investing in renewable energies at a crazy rate. Their AI allegedly, I want to say allegedly, because I always want people to go and do their own research and, stuff like that. But from what I understand, it's less energy intensive than the AI we have here. And they're going to be at the forefront of this shit.
Is
I'm
China,
telling you, like,
behind DeepSeek?
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I've heard
that
really
is the Chinese
good things about DeepSeek too, compared to like ChatGPT and Sora and shit like that.
Yes, bro. The big thing about DeepSeek that's so exciting to me is that it's open sourced. Yeah. It's open source. So like, it's. I'm telling you, they're at the forefront of this shit. And again, this is not an endorsement of China or anything like that. It's just the facts. Like the U.S. empire, which as a leftist I am giddy about. I can't lie about that, and I would never lie about that. I'm giddy that it's declining because the history of the U.S. empire. Oh shit! And not to say that any other empire would be preferable. It's a lot like Warner Brothers being acquired by Paramount versus being acquired by Netflix. I just nope all the way out with either of those things. Which, by the way, tangential to that, Warner Brothers has rejected the Paramount bid as an illusory bid, and they want to go with Netflix. So we're going to see how the government meddles in that because they will, because everything's broken.
Dude, here's my question, and I'm glad that you brought up this whole HBO Paramount thing.
Yes.
If HBO were to get acquired by Netflix, would anything even fucking change?
That's what I've been kind of wondering, and I'm going to be
way that Netflix is going to be generous enough to wrap all of Discovery Plus, HBO Max, and Netflix together in one nice little subscription package. They're going to keep charging separate subscriptions for Netflix and for HBO Max and for Discovery Plus. And the fact that I'm even mentioning Discovery Plus, that was supposed to get wrapped into one big Warner Bros. Discovery streaming site with HBO Max. And not only did it never happen, but it became very clear that it was never actually going to happen, even if they didn't get acquired by someone else, because they make more money selling both subscriptions separately, the same way that Netflix would make more money selling all of their subscriptions separately between Netflix, HBO Max, and Discovery Plus.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. It's just horrifying though that like antitrust laws are just like a thing of the past. Like it's not even.
Oh yeah, no.
Like if you were
the age of Lena Khan actively fighting against monopolies is dead.
Yeah, and that's why she was one of the first people I feel like they got rid of, because they knew this was always the plan. Like I shared a post recently that I think expressed it so clearly and straightforwardly. Like capitalists want to own everything. The one thing people need to understand about capitalism as an ideology and just capitalists as the persona of the capitalist ideology is that there is no endpoint. There is no terminus to the growth,
Infinite
right? Where they say enough
is the goal of the system.
Exactly. But in a finite system, that is a violent contradiction that we all pay for on a planetary fucking scale.
Exactly.
And like, I need, and like, that's really all I'm going to say, because I think all the other political points, this and that, it's not that they don't matter. Quite the contrary. I think they matter more, more than ever. But that's the fundamental. That's the foundation that I think people need to grasp first. There is no like, oh, that's enough. No, they want to own everything. We are talking about a centralization of property, of assets, however you want to put it, where they own everything and we own nothing. And in fact, in that spirit, I do just want to say, tangential to that, the United Nations put out their wealth inequality report for 2026 recently. And I'm just going to share the one screenshot that I posted in the Discord. So I'm going to quote this here. According to this year's report, wealth and income inequality are both rising across the world, with the richest 10% of the world's population owning 3/4 of all personal wealth and more than half, 53%, of all the income. The disparities are relatively similar, irrespective of the region and development status of the nation. In almost all regions of the world, the top 1% of the population is richer than the combined 90%. Wealth inequality increases further with each passing day, mostly due to the lack of political will to stop it.
Well, yeah, because why would the politicians want to stop the accumulation of wealth to the top when those people at the top getting richer is what allows those same politicians to also improve their own lots in life?
Precisely. To continue, just because I have nothing to add to that, you said it perfectly. The report notes that today the bottom 50% of the world's population holds just 2% of all wealth and less than 10% of all income. A large number of the bottom half, in fact, owns nothing but debt and struggles to make enough each day to survive. The wealth of a small number of billionaires and millionaires is growing at a rate more than double that of the wealth or lack of wealth of billions in the world who are facing a persistent economic crisis. And then the last thing I want to say about this report, again in the same screenshot, the report says 60,000 people, around 0.001% of the world's population.
0.001% is, I believe, 1/10,000th.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the report says 60,000 people.
No,
around
actually, it's
1/100,000th.
1/100,000th.
Yeah. But that percentage controls 3 times more wealth, around 6% of global wealth, than the entire wealth owned by half of the world's population. So
basically 1 in 100,000 people on the planet control 3 times the wealth of the bottom 50%.
Yes.
So
yes.
Basically what that comes out to is 60,000 people control 3 times the wealth as 4 billion.
And this is why, and I don't want to go too far afield here. Again, I've said multiple times just in this one recording, I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to go too far afield. I wanted to just give it to you all straight. This is why, though, I find discussions trying to preserve capitalism, like on this abstract intellectual level, to be not only tedious, but just a waste of time. Because,
it's these are trying to preserve capitalism is basically saying, like, we know that this race kills people, but we need to allow the race to continue, or else we're not going to have a winner.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, the numbers speak for themselves. Again, this was the United Nations report on this, and I don't think you and I even need to say anything else. That kind of disparity, if that is going to have more of a seismic shift in geopolitical affairs and just domestic affairs in every country sooner or later. And for some countries it'll be sooner, others it'll be later, and I think we should pay attention to the ones where it happens sooner and deduce why, and then the ones that come later. Because that was the one thing Marx was really wrong about. He thought the revolution would happen first in, like, industrialized England. It didn't. It happened in, fucking China, primarily made up of the peasant rice farmers led by, Mao. And so I'll be interested when this really begins to fucking blow up, because this is not sustainable. This is absolutely disgusting. This is ridiculous. And the crazy thing is, guys, and this is the one thing that I really want to end this on, because all other political news, it's not that it's not important, but it all fundamentally comes back to this, right? The scapegoating of trans people, the denaturalization and deportation of migrants, at least the denaturalization they're aiming for. That is a story we should be on the lookout for. But the deportation of migrants, it's all to obfuscate the real struggle, which is this. This is the real struggle right here. And that's what we need to be mindful of, at all times. I mean, this disparity is absolutely disgusting. And yeah, and it's found that if there wasn't so much hoarding, if it was more politically, regulated, everybody on Earth could have a decent standard of living. The idea that people are still dying from homelessness and preventable illness is sickening to me, because we are so technologically advanced, and especially in a globalized economy where we could share resources, share scientific findings, we could make such a beautiful world for everybody, from here all the way to the people in the global south. And the fact that we don't, because of these fucking people, this fucking concentration of wealth of these 60,000 people, just Jesus fucking Christ, that is
the world is run by the greedy.
Yeah, and it's a fucking shame. It's a real fucking shame. God, what else? I know everybody had a good laugh about Vanity Fair this week because photos of the Trump regime came out. And did you hear about this? Well, Vanity Fair did a whole, like, photo spread of the Trump regime, which they've done for, like, other administrations, so it's not like they were, like, pandering to them or whatever, but they were, like, close-up shots, and the photographers had to defend them because, lo and behold, everybody looks like shit. Caroline Leavitt especially got, like, excoriated by a lot of people because she pretty much has, like, almost, like, that's whatever, she's, like, 28. I know even my friend Carly today was like, wow, hate ages people horribly. But the big thing to come out of that,
I think I've seen that picture of her, and I genuinely did not know she was that young.
Yeah, dude, that's what everybody says. That like they're like, oh, today I learned she was 28 or this and that, and they're always stunned when that happens. But the big thing why I even mention this, so the photographer, I don't think he got flack from the regime yet, and I hope he doesn't. Although it wouldn't surprise me if he did, because fascists at bottom are just petulant, immature children. But he apparently like had conversations, or a conversation with Stephen Miller at the end of it. And Stephen Miller, of all fucking people, the guy that looks like Megamind's sentient fucking jizz, had the audacity to say to this dude, you have a lot of power in your discretion to be kind. And the photographer, without missing a beat, looked at him and said,
So do
you do too.
Yeah.
So good for him, honestly.
Yeah.
The idea that these people, especially speaking of Caroline, because she's come in the news more lately, it's being alleged that she might have called ICE on her brother's ex. Now, of course, the family's denying it, but when a far rightist denies something, I usually feel like we've struck upon the truth. So that just shows you the moral character of these people. And I think the big story that I do want to end it with, because there's a bunch we could talk about, two other things. The U.S. has apparently seized another oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. So that's escalating, and that's great. I'm sure the people of Venezuela don't need oil whatsoever. We're the only country seemingly that needs fucking oil, of course. That makes perfect sense to me. And I know Venezuela has called for the UN to convene about what to do about this. Also in international news, Russia's frozen assets apparently are going to be used to fund Ukraine's war effort, and Putin is very upset about that. But then the last big piece of domestic news is the redacted files got released yesterday. They got released yesterday. But here's the funny thing. Even though there are whole streams of documents with just blackout, right? Nothing on them but just the blacked out stuff.
They couldn't get to all of them, baby.
They couldn't get to all of them. And I did see a page circulating on Facebook that named Trump like 2 or 3 times, like in a negative way. And like, way to go. Way to go. And by the way, leftists, because we don't treat politics like some fucking sporting event, like it's the NFL or NBA. If anybody's like, oh, but Bill Clinton's on there too, or this Democrat's on there too, I do not give a fuck. Hell, leftists are kind of having a rough time now because Noam Chomsky, there's been pictures of him on Epstein's plane and with Steve Bannon. I will say, front and center with my whole chest, fuck Noam Chomsky. Take whatever good he provided to the left, any theory, any analysis, keep it. But like, judge him by the human standard, and the human standard is he was palling around with fucking ghouls and fucking awful people. And I think that speaks very poorly to him. So yeah, we can acknowledge, oh, this figure might have lent something good to the movement, but fuck them if they did this. Because the important thing, rather than always talking about Chomsky or this one or that one, is the fucking victims. And so I hope the women that have been pursuing justice doggedly for God knows how fucking long actually are able to get some, but it's still a fucking awful mountain to climb because they are protecting Trump and all his other cronies at any fucking cost. And this is what we should be concerned about. Again, not a single trans person is protecting a billionaire fucking pedophile or migrant. It is a club, and you're not in it. And the people that get co-opted by this fucking bullshit of, oh, migrants are driving up the housing prices. No, it's not. It's companies like fucking BlackRock buying up all the properties and doing fucking price control. Like
Zillow too.
Jesus fucking Christ. Say that again.
Zillow, their whole scheme that they've got going on, where they'll buy all but one of a house in a small area for a certain price, and then buy the last house in that neighborhood for a way jacked up price, so that they can resell all of those homes for that jacked up price and make a huge profit on it.
Yeah. And this is why, like, even liberal friends that I know are very well-meaning and for whatever reason have not walked away from me when I do not hide my leftism, like, at all. I had one message me before you and I went live that they're, anticipating these articles of impeachment that have been filed because they've been filed on Hegseth.
Yeah, I was RFK, and I feel like I've seen articles of impeachment being talked about so many people. And you mentioned Hegseth and RFK. I think they've even got them filed against Bondi too, don't they?
Yeah, Bondi was the latest one that my friend kind of messaged me about. And then I'm just going to read my message here, and then unless you have something you want to say about Epstein or anything else, like, I'm going to personally be done because I'd like a more succinct politics segment for a change. And I know it's been my fault that they haven't been. So what I said was, as a far leftist, my main concern is that even if these cretins get booted, which isn't a 0% chance, but I'm still not optimistic.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I said the same thing earlier. I didn't say it in this message, but I said it earlier in the same conversation. I'm right there with you. I said people will get so wrapped up in that they'll lose sight of the systems that made them and their ascent to power possible. Absolutely get the rot out, but the critique and the fight it inspires needs to go deeper. I need people to really start thinking systemically about shit, because even in these abstract conversations,
I think you're kind of preaching to the choir here. I think that, like, you know, I am with you, and I think most of the people in our audience are with you too. I think that really at the end of the day, when you're talking about systems, it really just comes down to people are miserable and zero effort is being made to improve their lives.
Yeah, yeah. And when you look at the Democratic Party, I mean, I shared that image, and you said that it was wild. That, you know, the Democratic Congress, or the Democrats in Congress, they are fucking underwater in approval. They're at negative 55 points overall approval rating. And then with independents, they're minus 61. Or to put it, I guess, in other terms, Democratic Party approval rating, approve 18%, disapprove 73%. I mean, Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
It basically comes down to, like, they're the party that thinks that they are winning people over by not talking as much about trans people, not talking as much about the border, trying to, like, hyper fixate more on things that the average person really doesn't give a shit about. Like, I know that the Harris campaign last year, early on, they were talking about shit like, oh, we're gonna hold these grocery stores accountable. We're going to make sure that grocery prices don't go up. And halfway into the campaign, all of a sudden, it was, we're going to be harder on the fucking border.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, anytime, and see, this is the funny thing, because you guys all know I'm a philosophy nerd, and like a part of that is I read a lot of political philosophy, but a lot of the people that wrote it that I read were rich, propertied white men. Yes. And you always have to keep that context in mind, right?
Well, and when that's another thing too, is like one of the other big things that, like, the Biden administration wanted to be known for was student loan forgiveness. You know who benefits from student loan forgiveness? People with an education. You know who an average person in the United States looks at Democrats and identifies with them? Snobs, people with educations.
Exactly.
They're unbelievably tone deaf, unable to read a room. And really, what I should be saying is, it certainly does seem like they're actively trying to lose so that they can continue campaigning and raising money on "we're not the Republicans."
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I feel like I really got nothing more to say, but just the idea, actually, no, because I was saying that, like, any kind of political theory or whatever, it comes from one particular standpoint. But the whole idea of society, ideally, especially for us anarchists, would be that people get their fucking needs met. They don't have the threat of state violence, you know, hovering over them, and that we can achieve a kind of cultural, racial, etc., pluralism within a given society. This is completely antithetical to the fascist vision, which wants an ethno-state.
I was going to say, we do have a plurality on a lot of things. There are a lot of things that the vast majority of this country agrees on and wants. It just doesn't fucking matter because the people who are supposed to serve us don't. They serve the billionaires and the corporations.
Yes, exactly.
Most of the country wants universal health care. Most of the country wants universal child care and education. Most of the country would probably get behind a shorter work week. Most of the country is, like, super into and down with most actual leftist progressive policies. The problem is the system is worked out in such a way that most of the people actually representing the real people don't give a fuck about them.
Yes, exactly.
And that applies to Democrats almost maybe even more than it applies to Republicans. Because with Republicans, you've got plenty of actual Republicans who genuinely believe and try to get things done that go towards the belief of their constituents. You don't have that with the Democrats nearly as much. I would say somewhere around 50-50 with Republicans, where, you know, if you flip a coin, you'll figure it'll either land on a grifter or someone who genuinely believes in the shit that they're selling and really wants to do what they say they're trying to do and really wants to do what they campaign on and what they get voted into office for. But with the Democrats, like 90% of those motherfuckers are just in it to grift and to make money and to get rich and gain power and maybe eventually try and be president one day. Like that's literally like the whole Democrat party is just grifters.
And I would agree with you completely. And I think the last thing I really do want to say is when you look at the numbers of disapproval of the Democrats, we know Trump is underwater on every issue at this point. I mean, I can't even believe that he's been so bad. He's turned like support for immigration into like a net positive in this country. Like that's how bad him and his regime have been.
Yeah.
And also we can't forget that it's Stephen Miller, it's Russ Vought, it's Pam Bondi, it's all these fucking people. But like all this disapproval, we've got the hard data, we've got just the straightforward data, but that data needs to be like mobilized out in the streets. And I'm not just talking about parades. Like I do agree with leftists that say like any meaningful protest carries this implied threat because it's disruptive, because it shuts shit down. I've been saying the last few weeks, we really need a general strike. We needed a general strike fucking months ago.
Dude, we've needed a general strike since Trump's first regime. Christ.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you. So we
were calling for a general strike during COVID. In the summer of 2020, we were calling for a general strike because they kept on having these fucking Congress meetings debating whether they were going to give out stimulus checks. Meanwhile, Canadians were getting like $2,000 a month during COVID. We got one.
Yes.
We got one $2,000 check, and then at the very, very end of Trump's term, he gave us another $1,200 check, and then Biden took over and was like, "Oh, well, you guys already got $1,200, so I'm only going to just cap that off at $1,800 and give you the rest of the $600."
Bro, I'm so glad you brought that up, and I like how conversational this segment has been this week. Because look, you know me. I know I'm not perfect, and so I know I could stand to probably be a little bit more optimistic at times. But it's hard not to be cynical when I hear more progressive voices that I do like, and I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, right? I don't want to be the piss in anybody's parade. But when they're like, oh, I feel like there's a class awakening happening, class consciousness, because to me that may be true. I don't want to discount it. It may be true. But the idea that COVID wasn't more of a radicalizing moment than what it was, I think that broke something in me, because I'll tell you why. COVID, I think, for anybody that was really attentive, should have let the scales fall from their eyes on a lot of shit, right? Like, and especially, I should say too, I'm biased because I'm coming from the place of disability, where we're told all the time, oh, we can't do this thing remotely, or we can't give this accessibility measure. The way the economy shifted to more remote stuff in the wake of COVID, just so that the machine wouldn't have to stop, was incredible. And then people started thinking, wait a minute, I could have been working like this the whole time. I don't have to go and have to deal with my shitty fucking boss or deal with these conditions that I'm uncomfortable with. Like, I could just be in my home and this and that. And like workers, or excuse me, bosses, because they feel like they own workers and they want to spy on them 24/7. I mean, I've legitimately heard horror stories of companies trying to even expand surveillance on their employees to make sure they're not on the toilet too fucking long. Or like, oh, you got to come in the office. Like, COVID should have shown people, and I think it did show a lot of people, but not enough to really mobilize anything meaningful, that different ways of life were possible. Because that was the whole thing, right? Like, possible.
Well, and dude, even just the idea of like essential workers, right? Like they literally made rules about who is considered an essential worker or not, and who was it? Was it the fucking doctors and, well, it actually wasn't doctors, but like, was it the fucking stock traders and the landlords? Fuck no. It was the actual service people who work at grocery stores and restaurants that were considered essential. And yet those are the people that get paid the least. How was that not a fucking class consciousness awakening?
Exactly. Nailed it. And that's why when people are saying that it's happening now, excuse me if I'm not breaking out my pom-poms over it, because I need to, and look, I really try not to be disrespectful, but man, something's rising in me, because if people's idea of class consciousness begins and ends with, we're going to get a democratic socialist in the White House or in the Senate or whatever, like, it's not even that I'm against any of those people. Like, fine, do it, of course. Relative to where we are now, it would be an improvement. Yes, but please, please, if your praxis begins and ends with electoralism, within the bounds of electoralism, we're cooked. Because, see, even the right understands, this is why I say over and over again, the right fundamentally is better at the art of politics than the left, because they did a fucking insurrection when they got a result they didn't like. I mean, whether we agree with it or not, and yeah, it was a horrifying moment for fucking sure. The fact is, they did it, right? They went to the institutions and said, no, we don't want you. We want our fucking guy. And they did something about it. And that's why even some leftists, and I disagree with it because I am very much as an anarchist against what is known as black and brown shirt alliances. Black being the color of anarchism, brown, you think brown shirts, Nazis, the color of fascism. I'm against those alliances, but there were some leftists that were saying we should have joined up with them. And I don't disqualify that completely, only because, like, yeah, I get it, because stuff was being done. In France, I saw recently, like in France and other like European countries that are part of like that EU bloc, farmers were driving tractors in the street and stuffing up traffic and causing disturbances. I think because of some austerity or something against farmers in that European country. And France, anytime you hear austerity or pension cuts or whatever, they occupy the streets and they're like, who do you answer to? And they remind them, like, we need that energy so bad. And I've been saying that shit for fucking years. And it never happens. If COVID didn't catalyze, I really don't know. We're going to see what happens here because he keeps going underwater and the economy keeps getting worse. And we've talked before about the AI bubble, which you shared. Let me give credit to you here because you shared a graph recently about
RAM prices.
RAM prices. Yeah, and holy mother of God, bro.
Yep. And well, dude, here's the thing too.
Yeah.
Do you see where the chart starts?
It seemingly starts like July 2024 at the bottom of the graph. That's how
I would assume that like the furthest left it goes is probably around June of 2024. But regardless,
yes, from
June of 2024 up to like late August, early September 2025, prices were effectively stagnant. They were. I mean, this is for 32 gigs of DDR5, 6,000 megahertz RAM. The price was consistently in the low 100s, ranging anywhere from like 105-ish to maybe like 140 tops. But then September of 2025, we see it start increasing, and by now it's over $400 fucking dollars. It has literally quadrupled in the last 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, that's fucking insane, dude.
And this is because, dude, the guy that runs ChatGPT went out and bought like, I think it was like 40% of the global supply of DDR RAM.
Yes.
And now you've got RAM companies doing away entirely with their consumer-facing brands to focus entirely on enterprise sales, selling to corporations, because the corporations are such easy money at this point, because they're the only ones that are actually willing to pay these ridiculous inflated prices because they get an actual return on investment despite the inflated prices because of AI.
Yes. Yes. And this is why also, like, the whole notion of supply-demand economics is kind of bullshit, because when you have such a resource disparity in terms of, like, wealth and capital and stuff like that, that, again, per the UN report, every fucking country on the globe is dealing with, you can take all the supply of something if you really wanted to when you have that disparity in resources. And then I'm just shit out of fucking luck, right?
Yep.
So the idea that he can, you said what, Sam Altman? I don't want to put words in
his mouth. Is that the guy that runs ChatGPT? Then yeah.
He might be, because is ChatGPT part of OpenAI? Because I do believe that's Sam Altman's company.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then it is Sam Altman. Yeah. So Sam Altman can go and buy 40% of the global. I was really glad that you specified that. The global supply. So I guess all of us can get fucked, right? Like, it's such horseshit, dude. And like,
I've been thinking a lot. Zillow.
Yeah, exactly.
We were just talking about Zillow earlier, how they were buying houses and then they would buy one house in the area as like the last purchase that they make in that area at a higher price because that increases the property value of all of the other homes that they just bought. That's basically what Sam Altman's doing, is he's going around buying up all of the RAM so that it, first of all, contributes to the AI that he's working with, the ChatGPT stuff, but also it basically is creating its own little mini bubble inside of what we already know as the AI bubble.
Yes. Yes.
It's insane.
And dude, yeah, and that's the thing. When it comes to AI, because I've even kind of had this debate on air the last few weeks, like within myself. I really don't think I'm against AI. I can see where it is a revolutionary technology and it can help medicine. I even think it can help with the climate crisis because I have been saying over and over we need to start orienting towards climate resiliency because all the data coming out. I mean, we're doing it. We're crossing the
Dude,
2 degree Celsius threshold.
yeah,
Like,
no. Here's the thing about AI.
yeah,
AI is a very useful tool. Machine learning, large language models, all that stuff is a very useful tool. Uh, I think that and this is just my opinion.
of course.
AI becomes a problem when it starts being used as a product.
Yes. Yes. I would agree with you.
Rather than a
Yes.
tool. When it starts to be used as a product, we start to run into an issue because I mean, dude, we literally just had YouTube shut down multiple AI uh movie channels that they were literally making fake ass movie trailers using AI. And that is the tip of the iceberg. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. That's the tip of the tip of the iceberg. That is nothing. I mean, Christ, how many websites at this point are dedicated to deep fakes of celebrities and other women and
Yes,
revenge
dude.
porn that's not even real? It's using AI to make revenge porn of people. Like, it is unbelievable. And I mean, like, Congress at one point actually had a bill about regulating AI, and it didn't go through. Obviously, I think Alexandria Ocasio Cortez actually introduced it, and it just because Congress is basically controlled by the rich, and the rich are really into this AI bubble right now, it didn't go anywhere. I just am worried because how how long at this point are we until we get to the point that a major trial is confronted with a video evidence that we might have to consider is made by AI?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is inevitable to me.
I
That's not a
also am
question of
more. I
if,
mean,
it's a question
I
of
think
when.
I'm even more concerned with sort of the opposite of that. Someone like a Trump or someone who obviously committed a heinous crime, having actual video evidence presented against them and trying to claim that it is AI and that it wasn't real. Because
I mean, yeah,
motherfuckers have
yeah.
been lying about shit being photoshopped for decades at this point. Photoshop's been around since the 2000s. But now it's gotten even worse now. It's gotten to the point now that video evidence is going to start getting thrown out because of claims of it being AI.
And that is incredibly worrisome, especially when these AI verifiers and checkers, bro, they ain't shit. Like
No,
I've
you
already
do
seen,
no. It's You're
yeah,
using AI to check and see if something is AI. It's complete nonsense.
yeah, yeah, and fundamentally, I do
That's like
agree with you fundamentally.
that's
No,
like
we're gonna say
police departments doing an internal investigation. Like, fucking
yes,
obviously,
yes,
there's not going to be any goddamn issues found.
yes, exactly. I do agree with you fundamentally that AI becomes a problem when it's a product. So I just want to say that straight away. I think also though, and this is again where I have to give China the leg up with open sourcing just the data and everything on DeepSeek.
Yeah,
When you don't democratize this technology and you
yeah.
concentrate it in the hands of very affluent, very powerful fucking people, this is what happens. Because if you democratize it, then you're immediately gonna have people that are concerned about, let's make it less energy intensive. Let's do this, let's do that. But when you have it concentrated in the hands of a few people, what do you think they're gonna want to fucking do with it? Whatever the fuck they want to do with it. That's the fucking point. So
I'm
I mean,
also
again, this
worried about artists in general, and I don't just mean artists like painters or like people who make even digital art. I'm even thinking like voice actors, actual
yeah.
like physical body actors, music producers, music artists in general. Like, these are all pretty highly sought after positions that are absolutely in danger due to AI. I mean, we are already in an era where you can use one of the more advanced AIs and just say, "Hey, make Iron Man with Tom Cruise as Tony Stark, and it'll fucking do it.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
like we need to have regulation on people's likenesses, on people's voices, on people's images. There needs to be on fuck man, like there needs to be a shit ton of regulation done about this. And even with an extensive amount of regulation on AI, it's not going to prevent most people from just still using it to do whatever the fuck they want anyway.
Exactly. It is a huge problem. And the idea that the regime is trying to bully states to not regulate AI or
Yeah.
else we're going to withhold federal funding.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people, it all fundamentally comes back to the class war. It all fundamentally comes back to the fact that we are in a techno oligarchy that want to return us to almost like a feudal economy again, where they own everything and we own nothing, and should be grateful about it. Like I hate these people. But with that said, is there anything else you want to say about the politics section this week? Because I mean, I know it was like a bigger week again, primarily with the redacted Epstein files being released. So anything else you want to say, share your opinion on, anything like that?
I think I'm good. We can move on.
I think I'm good too for once. So let's move on to pop culture, which we didn't really get to do last week because of YouTube issues and stuff like that. Exactly. So we finished It Welcome to Derry, and I loved it so much that I don't know if any of you are aware of the quote hear me out cake game, but it's this imaginary cake where you put entities or whatever. It could even be shapes. My friend that told me about this said that she had friends that would even put shapes on the cake that you want to get sexually freaky with. And I put Pennywise on the cake. I put Pennywise on the cake. Hot damn. Let me just say that I hope those dead lights glow out the other end because I am eating that ass. It was fantastic. I I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show. I personally, bro, and this is something I've wanted to ask you now that we finished it. I liked the series better than the movies. What do you think?
I liked the first movie better than anything else, and then I would probably sandwich the series in between the first and second movies in terms of how much I enjoyed it.
There, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
I liked the second movie. I think that the series has more heart though than the second movie.
Yeah, I would
The
agree.
second movie felt very like almost Marvel-y in the way that it was like, "Hey guys, remember this thing? Here's the payoff." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you too, man. I gotta be honest. The series was the first time I've ever like feared Pennywise as a concept. Because
Yeah,
like,
dude. I'm sorry. Is there face on my face?
yeah. Oh, he had me at face. Yeah.
That had to be the most unhinged line that we've ever seen. This Bill Skarsgård variation of Pennywise utter.
God, as I said in the NSFW channel of our Discord, stare into my dead lights, you bulbous fuck. I mean, let's go. Let's go. You know, I'm hard as hell. So yeah, it was great. Probably I will say this too, because I like the movies, the Bill Skarsgård movies, but I think this series in particular is just my favorite like live action Stephen King property because I've never read the books ever. And yeah, like I've seen The Shining maybe once or twice.
Fiction.
That's true. Yeah, I really should get back into it, and I want to in some parts, but yeah, I mean, philosophy got me by the balls. So yeah, I think The Shining was good. Storm of the Century, I think, is actually kind of underrated.
Speaking of Stephen King, just IP in general, I do love that.
Yes.
It Welcome to Derry really did tie in. It's almost building a Stephen Kingiverse. Like it's really working to like we got a mention of Shawshank Prison. We got the Halloran. I forget his name.
Yeah, Halloran. Yeah.
Halloran is going off, and he's a character from The Shining. We saw him going off to work at a hotel in London. The Shining takes place in Colorado, I believe, but I guess we're just meant to believe that he learns the trade in London and then comes back and works at a hotel in Colorado, and that's when The Shining happens. So I really do appreciate the you know the consistency and the sort of world building going on there.
Definitely. So we did that. We did the latest Knives Out movie, which I really liked, although I still think the first one is just my favorite. But this third one
Dude,
I would
same.
put above Glass Onion. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, Knives Out, the first Knives Out with Chris Evans as Ransom, and Ana de Armas as sort of our POV character, our protagonist in a way, and Jamie Lee Curtis and Don Johnson and fucking oh god, what's the guy's name that played Zod and Man of Steel? I forget. Michael Shannon, I think is his name, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
like the cast there is great. I mean, the cast in all three movies is really good, but there's so much soul in that first movie's cast. And even just casting Chris Evans as a villain while he's playing Captain America, because that movie came out in like what, 2017, not 2019, maybe.
I think 2019
It was
I think
2019, yeah.
2019.
So that was before Infinity War and Endgame. Chris Evans was still Captain America at that time. And they cast him as a dickhead and a piece of shit.
Yes.
I love it, dude. The balls.
But I will say, I think the best performance outside of Daniel Craig, who's just eating up being Benoit Blanc, like you could tell he loves
so
it.
much fun with it, yeah.
Which is great because here's the thing. I used to be like a James Bond fan. I think I've said before that Pierce Brosnan's just my all-time favorite Bond, but like I never cared for Craig's version. And Craig, I think he even said, because they had him on like contractually for so many movies, like towards the end that he wanted to slit his wrists. I don't know if he'd get tired of these movies. I don't, because they're not.
It just seems like he's having so much fun with them.
Yeah. And like each one has a completely different tone. Whereas like the Bond movies, you could tell that they kind of homogenized in a way. Like I feel like these are three very distinct movies, you know, tonally and stuff like that. And Wake Up Dead Man, I think my favorite, and that's what I was getting ready to say. Outside of Daniel Craig, who I think kills it in the titular role as, you know, Benoit Blanc, Glenn Close fucking killed it in Wake Up Dead Man.
Martha,
Martha, she was fantastic.
Oscar-worthy, I would say.
I would agree that well, I mean, I don't want to get too much into spoilers because the movie is still new-ish, but let's just say the ending scene that she supported.
The monologue at the end of the movie that she
the monologue in the movie, yeah, like amazing. So yeah, we did that movie. We did Roof Man. That was a crazy one. The Roof Man was fun.
That was a really interesting movie. It kind of took me for a ride for sure.
Definitely.
And I'm loving some of these sort of more like character-driven films that we've watched this year, like between Roofman and The Lost Bus comes to mind.
Yes.
I'm really digging these more like reality, like literally like based on a true story, character-driven films. Really, really into them.
I agree. Now, the film we watched most recently, like I don't think it falls under that heading, but we did watch Tetris last night.
No, I mean that is based on a true story, to be fair.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, man, that movie was wilder than I would have expected it to be, honestly.
Yeah, you don't go to the movie theater getting ready to watch what is effectively a biopic of the guy that invented and initially marketed the game Tetris, thinking, oh yeah, people are gonna die here for sure. We're gonna have monster shit going on with the KGB without a doubt.
Yeah. Those are my digitized blocks, you piece of shit. Yeah, man. What a fucking movie that was. And really, look, apologies to Taron Egerton, who was great in the movie, but ever since we watched Smoke, I'm like, why not just burn Moscow? Like, why not just do a whole fucking like
oh god.
I can't see him as anything other than that character now. Is that wildly unfair? Yes.
I don't know why, but I still see him as Bugsy.
Oh, nice. Don't you mean Eggsy?
Eggsy, yeah.
Eggsy. Bugsy made me pop.
I think Bugsy is the name of a Pokemon gym leader, to be fair.
Yeah, sorry, Taron. I know you consider yourself an actor, but in my own face, you've been typecast. So get to setting those fires.
As a creeper. Yikes.
Yeah, right. That reveal when he imagined himself to be handsome in his own mind. Oh god, Smoke was great. Oh, pumping the shit out of me.
Oh man.
I don't even think we've done any Christmas movies yet. Like I think we've just been doing kind of our own thing.
Yeah.
It's been great. I know we're changing our policy on series, just begin series after seasons end so that we can watch them, just pretty much binge them more or less.
Yes. We did.
So,
I mean, you mentioned Welcome to Derry. We also watched Tales from Wood Creek a couple times this week.
yes, they wrapped up this week actually, and I know they're going to be launching a Kickstarter soon for season 2.
Yeah.
So if any of you are interested in really immersive and interactive D&D campaigns and are a fan of Deborah Ann Woll, who was Karen on the Daredevil series and Daredevil Born Again, which I know that's also developing currently. Yeah, you'll want to check that out. It's a really fun time. Really, really fun time.
Yeah, we got our first picture of Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones in Daredevil Born Again season 2.
I have missed her in that role considerably, so that's going to be a lot of fun when we get to that. Jeez, what else? I know in music, I've got to set aside time to listen to this, but I know Polo G dropped a new album. I listened to some songs. That was pretty cool. I can still hear you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so yeah, in terms of music, I listened to some new songs off Polo G's album, but I really need to find the time and just the desire to like listen to all of it because my mind is in a million different places currently. But yeah, he dropped a new album, so if you're a fan of like melodic rap, check out Polo G's new album. What about you, bud? What's going on with you on the music front?
I've actually been into John Mayer lately.
Nice. Still waiting on that world to change.
That's one of the good ones for sure. Yeah, that's a favorite of mine. I actually have been really into, I want to say it's his 4th studio album. I think it's called Battle Studies. Let me pull it up and make sure here. Here it is. What is the name of this album? I was right, Battle Studies. Yeah, it's a good one though. Was released in 2009. That was actually while I was still in college because I'm old as fuck.
So am I, friend. So am I.
But that's the album that Who Says was on. You know, Who Says I Can't Get Stoned.
Right. Okay.
Most people I know that song by him.
I don't think I do, but again, not only am I old, I'm sheltered. So, can you think of anything that we've been doing that I haven't mentioned yet?
No, I think you've actually nailed it all, and we've been calling it early a couple times this week, just because the main thing that's in our backlog is movies, and if we get to like 2 a.m., we're not gonna pull up a whole new movie at that point most of the time.
Exactly. So
there
yeah,
are
I guess
some movies on our backlog though that we might be able to talk about next week. Specifically, we want to watch Flamin' Hot. We want to watch Godzilla -1, and we want to watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yes. So I guess with that, let's get to questions. So
we have 6 from Super Blue.
Let's do it.
First up, how will the Republican Supreme Court and the Republican leaders feel once the orange dumbass decides they are no longer of use to him?
I don't know. They'll probably just be like, cool, I'm going to retire on this island that I bought because we own everything and you pissants own nothing and sip Mai Tais until they die. So I don't think they're going to be too affected by it because, you know, it's not like they're going to be a victim of the designs of the ethno-state, right? It's not like they're going to be deported or be a victim of state violence. They're going to live comfortable lives, certainly far more comfortable than any of us are living right now, my dude. So I don't think they're sweating it too much.
I have a different read on this because the question's asking how the Republican Supreme Court and leaders will feel once Trump decides that they're no longer used to him. That's not going to happen. He's going to die before they stop being of use to him.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already seen what happens when someone on the Supreme Court doesn't vote his way, which is basically just a public hissy fit, and nobody gives a shit. And we've already seen what happens when the Republicans in Congress don't vote his way, which again is like threats and a public hissy fit. Like, so if you really want to know how they're going to feel, I think they're probably not going to give a shit because they know what all he's going to do is throw a public hissy fit, make some empty threats, and he's probably not going to be with us for more than another few months or a year.
I do just want to cut in and say Super Blue at 11:35 submitted a 7th question, and apparently Foster is typing, so we can expect questions from Foster as well, hopefully. So, with that said, let us continue.
How do you feel about Rey Mysterio trying to use brass knuckles only to cost himself the match? And then he added on here, Austin Theroy curb stomp on the apron to allow Logan Paul to win with the frog splash. And yes, Theroy was the masked man.
Well, damn, you know? God, I always knew that one Jetson was going to be fucking trouble. But yeah, I don't know. How do I feel about Rey Mysterio? I don't. How do I feel about Austin Theory? I don't. It just seems like fucking lackluster booking to me. So that's really the opinion I have there. Any thoughts?
No. Third question. Did Santino really deserve this, or do you think Ariana
Yes.
is the true leader of the NXT Outlaws, which is apparently the TNA commentary team's name for the NXT group that involves fucking Stone?
That seems like two separate questions to me because it's asking two different kind of things to me. As far as the question of did Santino deserve, of course he did. It's fucking Santino. And if Ariana was the leader, I mean, that'd be the biggest rub she could fucking ask for, going from like a pageant queen to like fucking this. But I like Ariana, so I'm here for it. You know, let's fucking do it.
Yeah,
fuck Santino.
I appreciate the low blow too. Santino wants to cosplay a trans woman. Here's what it feels to have your gonads inside your body.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. All right. Next question.
Had the Democrats won the election, would it be easier to save the internet from all the BS Kids Online Safety Acts, or at least slow it down? Probably fucking not, because the Republicans aren't the ones that want it. The rich people are, and they pay the Democrats as much as they pay the Republicans.
Next question, because I mean you said it perfectly, so I'm not, not touching that. Next.
Yeah. If you could go to the 9/11 memorial in New York, do you think you could handle it mentally?
Yes and no. Yes, because I think I know why you asked this question, and that part, while it is tragic, doesn't really bother me. No, what bothers me more was that innocent people being massacred in this way was used as a pretext to slaughter other countless innocent people in the Middle East, in Iraq. Men, women, and children slaughtered by the American war machine. That's what makes my blood fucking boil, was the war crimes done under the pretext of, oh, America needs to be strong. America needs to get vengeance and needs to remind the world that, we're strongest country on earth and all the other propagandistic bullshit. That's what makes my blood boil. That's what kind of racks my fucking brain mentally, where all the lives unjustly fucking lost. And I just think war as an institution is barbaric anyway. But I mean, yeah, it wasn't even quote unquote the right war, if you can even use that phrase anything other than facetiously. So yeah, I can handle it mentally. I can't handle the war crimes when I think about it too long. What the U.S. has done to the Middle East it should be a blight upon our collective conscience, and fuck the U.S. Empire. Anything you want to add?
I don't really understand the question. Why is he asking this?
I don't know, because it was a national tragedy or something. I mean, I was a child when it happened. I at the time I didn't even really wrap my head around.
I was freshly 11 years old.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look, if I'm being fully honest, for a fact, like I've even kind of joked with you, like, oh man, it had to suck for people whose birthday was like on 9/11, like, oh, we're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese, right? And then the whole family's gathered around the TV and they're like, wait, oh, and then whatever.
We're like, gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Yeah. But no, look, it's a tragedy what happened
come
to
on,
those
you guys
people.
aren't gonna let a plane accident get in the way with my birthday, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's how a child would think about it, though, for real. Like, they didn't have. I mean, my grandmother. I was once playing WrestleMania 2000 on the N64. Shout out that game. I always preferred it controversially.
What a throwback!
Yeah, and like she's coming in and she's grilling me about the stats on 9/11, and meanwhile, like adult me would laugh in her face now because I'm like, oh well, you're no better than me because you're propagandized to think that the U.S. are the victims when they're about to make real victims out of this, and. Yeah. Look, it was a tragedy what happened to those innocent people in that building, but fuck the U.S. government. Fuck how they exploited it. I mean, even in Bin Laden's own letter, he talked about one of the reasons for it was the military presence in the region, which, by the way, Bin Laden, CIA trained him and funded him. So again, like,
He was a
No, if we're
motherfucking
talking
plant.
exactly, exactly. Like, just it's really hard for me to have sympathy with the U.S. as an entity separate from individual people, because again, the individual people do have my sympathy. But if we're talking the U.S. as an entity, like, oh, America has been hurt. Well, if America's been hurt, fucking great. Like, fuck this empire and all of its fucking war crimes and the problems that it fucking causes. Didn't want Bin Laden to be a problem? Don't fucking train him. Didn't want Saddam to be a problem? Don't fucking fund it. Like, it's just amazing to me. And again, and this is nothing against you, Super Blue, although I really don't know why you asked this question. But this is like the liberal mindset of like, oh, America needs, and of course conservative, a lot of overlap there. It's like, oh, America needs to be strong and we need to support our leaders. No, the fuck we don't. No, the fuck we don't. Like, other places exist besides America. I just, it would just be important to keep that in mind. So, next question from Super Blue.
If Drew loses to Cody next year in the title match, how is he supposed to turn face after everything Cody has done to him?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even really know how to begin that question. And
if
honestly,
Drew loses to Cody in the title match, how is Drew supposed to turn face after everything goes? This is incomprehensible to me. Drew losing to Cody could literally be precisely the thing that turns him face, because it could get him to fucking self-reflect.
Yeah. God, I hate Cody Rhodes.
And you're saying after everything Cody has done to him, what? I was under the impression that Drew fucked Cody up more than the other way around.
Cody did a home invasion at Drew's home recently.
No, you gotta understand. I saw SmackDown this week, which means that I saw Cody show up at Drew's home. It wasn't a home invasion, first of all. And it also wasn't nearly as significant as Drew putting Cody on the shelf for a month.
You know what? Fair. I didn't watch the footage. I think I even saw either WWE themselves or like, wrestling rags or whatever say like, oh, they did a home invasion angle. So this was nowhere near like when Triple H broke into Orton's home like all those years ago.
No, dude, you gotta understand. Drew and Aldis were sitting down at a table by Drew's home pool, having a conversation, trying to get a deal done. And once they had their deal done, Cody showed up in Drew's driveway, being held back by security. And I guess that there was a brawl in Drew's driveway / front yard between Drew and Cody. But I wouldn't know, because every time it looked like they were about to touch, the screen cut like there was fucking VHS feedback going on.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So bad,
dude. Yeah.
The product is in the gutter. But yeah, no, it was anything but an actual proper like a home invasion might have gotten me hype. If it was anyone other than Cody fucking Rhodes doing it.
Bro, I know it's completely unrelated, but I mean, that fucking tattoo, though. I've never really gotten over it, It's like, because sometimes I look and I'm like, is it spreading?
It's not something to be gotten over.
That's, thank you for supporting me in these moments, because sometimes I look at that neck and I think, man, is it spreading? Is it gaining mass? And it scares me. It scares me. I'm not going to lie to you. The same guy that put the fucking eldritch horror of Pennywise on the Hear Me Out cake. That neck tattoo, that's a bridge too far for me, my dude. So next question from Super Blue, I guess.
Final question from Super Blue. If you were Nick, yes, would you have slapped the taste out of Cody's mouth when he said, "You work for me"? Did you see this promo from SmackDown?
I saw enough of it to have the proper context to say Super.
God.
Yeah, like Super Blue, I need you to understand something. I would slap Cody Rhodes for free, and fundamentally, I would slap Cody Rhodes for less. Like,
yeah, this promo, just Jesus fucking Christ. Aldis agreed with Drew McIntyre to this contract where Drew gets to pick the stipulation of his title match with Cody. And if Cody lays a finger on Drew in the build-up to this match, Aldis has to strip Cody of the world title, right?
Yes.
And as soon as Aldis informed Cody of that little stipulation at the end there, Cody went on this whole rant, listing off his accomplishments, talking about how he won the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row, and he you know, is the last man to beat John Cena for a championship and all this shit. And then he worked around to the idea that he doesn't work for all this. He works for them, of course, pointing to the crowd. Dude, I hate him so much. I can't even help but laugh about it anymore.
What a fucking douchebag.
That's literally some shit that like authority era Randy Orton would have said, except for the I work for them pointing to the crowd part. And Cody gets away with it because he's just so fucking milk toast that no one really buys him as a fucking threat.
Here, speaking of Cody, and like you mentioned Orton, how is Cody so bad that I'm missing the era of monotone heel Orton promos? I don't work for you and I don't work for them. I work for Triple H and Stephanie because they recognize the 3 most destructive letters. And yet, like, I would pop harder for that than what do you want to talk about? Shut your bitch ass up. Ain't nobody asking you shit. Nobody wants to talk to you. Fuck you. God.
Next question set is from Alex Foster.
Yeah, I need to say, Foster, it is crazy to me that you submitted questions because before we went live, and Ash can vouch for me on this, I'm like, when is Foster going to submit questions? I feel like it's been a while. And then Ash was like, not soon enough. Yeah. And so it's a Christmas miracle. I am so happy that you submitted questions, and I'm so happy to see you in chat. I love you so much, my dude. Let's get to Foster's questions.
Okay, first up, if you were in South Park as kids, segue, would you be nice to Butters? Honestly, full disclosure, Butters is the exact type of kid that I would have been best friends with in high school or in school in general. Like,
yeah,
Butters is the quintessence of the type of person I would have hung out with in school.
I absolutely would have been nice to him, especially because the pandemic like specials where they like go back in time and stuff and see all that. We know that Butters kind of becomes a grifter with like crypto and everything. I would hope that like if he had enough genuinely nice people that just wanted to do what he wanted to do, like playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Because I watched the Make Love Not Warcraft episode a few weeks ago. Yeah, maybe it would have gotten him on a better path. Yeah, Butters is a sweetheart. I don't need to be mean to Butters. Now Carmen, on the other hand, I'd love the opportunity to beat the shit out of that fucking dude. But Butters, no. But Butters gets hugs.
Yeah.
So
then second question, who should dethrone Javon when he wins the belt? So assuming that he actually does beat Oba for the title, either by or at Stand and Deliver this coming year, I'm going to say that the person who should dethrone him, God, my instinct says Ricky, but I don't think that actually makes sense because I think Ricky should be called up by then.
Yeah.
Saquon Sugars.
You know what? It's funny that we're taken from the same family, the same unit, because I was going to say Dion Lennox, only because he is positioned kind of as the leader. And I've enjoyed him, and getting these more upper echelon opportunities. I do love Sugars, though. I haven't seen enough of him, though, now that I've been checked out. But, like, what I do see of him and what I remember of him, I mean, yeah, the dude's got it for sure. But I've been liking what Dion's been doing lately. So I'm going to say Dion Lennox.
Yeah. Alternate theory. Or alternate hypothesis, I guess I could say, someone from TNA, just to make things a little spicier, because we've already had Trick hold the TNA title. Why can't someone from TNA hold the NXT title?
Yeah, really, give TNA something.
And just so the monkey paw finger doesn't curl with me saying someone from TNA, not fucking Ziggler.
Yeah, fucking Nemeth, not even once.
Or fucking Macklin.
Oh, God, ugh.
Or one of the fucking Hardy Boys. Like, someone decent from the TNA roster. Someone like maybe even Leon Slater. They could literally... I mean, they're going to fucking sign Leon Slater anyway. So have him be the one to beat Javon for the title. And then, while he's NXT champion, have it be this big deal like, oh my God, a TNA talent has won the NXT championship. And then have Javon win it back from him. But then have Leon signed to NXT and win the title from him as an NXT star later on.
Yeah.
Mike Santana wouldn't upset me either. That would be great.
I mean, bro, they're already so dialed in on Slater and they're already so high on him. He is the current #1 contender to face Oba. So, like, he's going to face Oba at New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he just won that 4-way. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that is correct. That is 100%.
So I definitely would love it to see Mike Santana or Elijah get that. But I think Leon
Yes.
Slater's got to be at the forefront if we're considering TNA names to win the NXT title.
Yeah, in ring, dude's insanely talented. I haven't heard enough of him on the mic to give a really comprehensive opinion, but like, yeah, for sure.
Also, he's the same age as Javon. He's 21.
Insane. All right. Next question from Foster.
Final question of the Q&A. Anything small lately that you've done that you're proud of?
I amazingly, even though that we're in the midst of New England winter, which is never really fun, have been able to stay on top of dishes and do my part to keep our kitchen clean in my house, and I'm quite proud of that because an empty sink is a sexy sink. So there you go. What about you, bud?
So in an attempt to avoid spoiling it, I am just going to leave this at I'm really proud of what I did for John's Christmas present.
It's actually, since you mentioned it, right next to me because I told you that I messaged my sister about the package arriving, and yeah, she brought it in while we were recording. So
Holy shit.
I'm looking right at it. Also got a letter from the Department of Health and Human Services that I may be up for a random inspection, so that's great. But we'll have to see if that comes down the pipe. Well, there's like this quality control board or whatever that they might randomly select my case, especially because I do receive over $100 in benefits for like random review. So I think again, this is part of an effort to potentially weed people out. And I'm like, yeah, you're policing these people. I wish billionaires were beholden to random quality control inspections. Hey, Elon, let's check on those rockets, bud. I've been hearing a lot of troubling stuff on the news. Oh, I didn't know you were coming today. Yeah, that's the point.
Let's do a random inspection on a fucking Boeing plane for once.
Yeah, really. Like, I hate it here. Anyway, Bestie did ask real quick, how does everyone feel about how they're handling the Wyatt 6 just in the chat? So I just want to address this very quickly. I really have no opinions on it. I've been so checked out. I have not watched anything they've done. Have you?
I don't really have any good opinions on it. I'll tell you that right now. I fucking hate this shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you gotta understand, I don't enjoy SmackDown for the most part regardless because you've got Nia, you've got Charlotte, you've got Cody. It's just not a good show for me. But the Wyatt 6 being reintroduced as a team that is like ambitious about winning championship gold is one of the worst creative decisions that WWE's made in the last year or two.
Yes.
And that's a tall fucking pile.
Yes. Like, even to their credit, when an entity like The Undertaker would pursue the WWE or the World Heavyweight Championship, they always had the in-character excuse of, because he even said it explicitly in a promo, and I always like this. He said that this title is a lure with which to capture all the souls that I desire. So really, in that, positioning it that way, the title was a conduit to get the real prize he was after, which was more souls.
Yeah.
And so
it's brilliant.
Yeah. But like Wyatt 6 aren't those types of characters. And so like, what's the motivation? I don't understand like why you want championship specifically, unless, and again, it was the same thing they did with The Fiend when Bray, may he rest in peace, was alive, where it's like, oh, it's The Fiend, but it's also Bray Wyatt, and like this and that, and they're trying to both ground it in reality,
well, and
but also make it supernatural. And you hated that too. So it's like either be supernatural all the way, and you better come up with a supernatural reasoning for why you want to do material shit, like in this material physical plane.
Also, or, on top of hating the actual story, I hate that Joe Gacy is in the ring most weeks.
Yeah.
That dude, I don't care how well he moves in the ring, how impactful his moves look. That dude fucking sucks. That dude is a fucking anti-charisma vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a shame too, because the way this group started was some of the best stuff that I had seen in a while. I mean, those interviews and like those taped, literally like seeming like VHS quality, whatever, tapes were just so emotional, especially Rowan.
You know who Joe Gacy actually kind of reminds me of in terms of just his complete and utter charisma vacuum status?
Who?
Kizarny.
Yeah, that works. That fits. But yeah, I mean,
I remember liking the Kizarny vignettes just because they were interesting and like the whole circus act character thing was cool, and he could wrestle better than Gacy. But
Yes.
you asked that dude to actually cut a promo or just be interesting, and it was fucking impossible.
Yes. Yes.
And Gacy reminds me of him. It's like he's playing himself, playing a character on TV.
Yes. And again, I mean, the way this group started was very emotional. I think even got me choked up. But
Yeah.
to see what it's become, and apparently, dude, I heard that, like, now again, wrestling rags, not real journalists, so you never know what to believe. But apparently, the Street Profits haven't even been on the show in like 2 months, and there are no creative plans for them. Like, it's not even an injury thing; it's a we've got nothing for you thing. And I'm
They're gonna
like,
get fucking released, dude.
I believe it. And honestly, I this is one case where I absolutely see them going to AEW and maybe even joining the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know if it would get to be a
That
problem
would
where
be
it's like,
unbelievable, actually. Those two
yeah.
guys under the tutelage of MVP and Lashley and Shelton, Jesus Christ.
And given that it's 5, I still think that's a nice, attractive number that isn't like a too many shirt situation like what the NWO had late in its run. 5, I think
Also,
you can work with.
Yeah, I do want to say, I want to just throw this little statistic out there. Since failing to win back the tag titles at Clash in Paris, the Street Profits have wrestled a grand total of 2 televised matches.
Jesus Christ.
The Clash in Paris,
I mean,
it was August 31st.
And also, where is Bianca Belair?
That is, she must still
injured?
be dealing with complications from whatever the hand or wrist injury she had was.
Bro, I really gotta start wondering, like, is your in-ring career just over? Because I have never heard anything like this from like a wrist or whatever complication, and I have to wonder if there's more going on or like what's going on. Because god damn, you're talking 3 talented people.
She has not wrestled. Nothing. Literally, she has not wrestled since WrestleMania. We're at 8 months at this point.
That is just insane to me. That is fucking insane to me.
I mean, yeah, it is. I do agree that's unheard of. I think what's even weirder though is that, like, a little bit after WrestleMania, like a month or 2 after WrestleMania, she was like cutting promos talking about how she was coming back soon.
Yeah, and like not soon enough apparently. I mean, I love Bianca to death. I mean, no disrespect, but I just want to know what the hell's going on. And yeah, Super Bowl pointed out, we know that Santos resigned a while ago, but
yeah, no, I was going to say, freaked my mom out there. So this is a pet peeve of mine, and I'm going to get it out there. Thank you, Alex, actually, for getting this right. Resigned and re-signed are 2 different words, and a little hyphen makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we haven't seen him either. So I wonder what they're like saving him for. Like I am so happy.
We've been seeing Angel and Berto, right? They've been on TV. They've been in the whole feud with fucking Wyatt shit, haven't they? Or no, that's actually been the MFTs. Never mind. So I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I don't know either. But I say let's wrap this up because was that it for Foster?
Oh yeah, questions are all taken care of.
Yeah,
we are done with Q&A.
High spots and low shots. Let's fucking do this. Low shot continues to be the U.S. just because these fucking tech oligarchs are gonna just ruin everyone. But no, you know what? My actual low shot. I want to get the name of this right because I didn't even mention this in the politics section because again I didn't want to go on a rant. But since we're at the end, I don't care. You know what? While I'm pulling this up, if you've got a low shot in mind, feel free to give it because I don't want to like have dead air. I just need to find this, whatever the fuck this was.
Okay. I mean, I guess my low shot is to the fucking fascist pieces of shit whose names ended up in the Epstein files because they did get released, however heavily redacted they might have been. They didn't catch everything.
Okay, and I found it. Oh my god. Okay, so my low shot is Andrea Lucas. Now you might all be wondering. I've never heard of
this person before.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm doing the ad. I was going to say, like, you might be asking who the hell is Andrea Lucas? She is the chair of the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Guess where this is going? DEI. She recently put out an ad, a 14-second ad, saying, quote, "Are you a white male who has experienced discrimination at work based on your race or sex? You may have a claim to recover money under federal civil rights laws." So yeah, that's what they're doing now. They're saying if you're an aggrieved white man, you can come and collect your benefits. That sounds an awful lot like reparations or whatnot in their own perceived minds because all these fucking white men, especially in positions of power, want to be persecuted so fucking bad. But when black people talk about it for the legitimate generational trauma that they have of slavery, it's like, oh,
God.
that's affirmative action or whatever. This is pathetic. And that's why she's my low shot, because how do you live with yourself? How do you sit in front of a camera, record that ad, and think, I'm on the right side of history? You're pathetic. You're absolutely pathetic. And any man that actually calls that line and pursues that, I laugh at you. I laugh at you so fucking hard.
This is fucking negative action. There's nothing affirmative about this shit.
Yeah, because see now, because reports have also come out that with the repealing of like DEI at universities and stuff, white male enrollment rates are being hit the hardest. Oh, gee, just the same way, years ago, we knew when you wanted to make food stamps a racial issue and talk about fucking welfare queens and this, that was like, which was racist fucking racialized bullshit, that white people proportionally were on food stamps more than black people per population in the U.S. So, like, get the fuck over yourself. Get over white mythos. I swear to God, dude, white supremacists and just racist in general are just such a backwards force in this fucking country that just drag everything down with them like a black fucking hole. So
you're
Andrea Lucas,
inferior to me because your ancestors were in the sun more. Fuck you,
dude. It's so funny you say it that way because I was talking to my mom this week. Shout out, mom. She's fucking wonderful. I love her so much. But I was talking to her. I'm like, the sun doesn't even fucking like you. The sun fucking hates you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you stay out in the sun for 5 minutes and the only person you're going to be friends with is fucking melanoma, okay? So, like, what are you even saying to me right now? And so, yeah, Andrea Lucas, you're a piece of shit. You're a loser. And I hope your line gets blown up the same way ICE lines and stuff do, reporting on a lot of bullshit. And any white man that's like, finally, something for me. Dear God, man, you would need to fuck a whole forest to get back to reality because one patch of grass ain't going to fucking do it. So that's my low shot. Who's your high spot, my guy? Since I had you give your low shot early just to give me time, which I appreciate.
Oh, well, my high spot is this little-known Japanese girl, or now I should say co-ed group known as XG, because they actually got to perform on The Voice season finale this year. And their performance, the YouTube video of their performance, has more views than the YouTube video of the announcement of the winner of the fucking season.
Yes. XG blowing up. You love to see it. My high spot, actually, you know what? I'm gonna have kind of a co-high spot here just because it's put me in such a good fucking mood. I wish this would have named the other guy. So pretty much the boxers that beat the shit out of Jake Paul and Andrew Tate, respectively. So with Andrew Tate, it was Chase Damore, and with Jake Paul, I want to say it was Anthony Joshua or something, or Joshua Anthony. I think, was that his name?
Oh,
let me.
Yeah.
Was it? Because if it's wrong, of course I want to correct.
It was Anthony Joshua. Yeah.
Anthony Joshua. Well, see, I was close. So Anthony Joshua, yeah, and again, Chase Damore. You're doing God's work, my friends. Thank you, because there is this picture.
Are you talking about Jake Paul's face right before he got knocked the fuck out?
Yeah. No, please. And like, he's fucking cornered. Yeah. You ain't fucking Ali. There ain't no rope-a-dope out of that shit, bitch. He's just looking so terrified. Like, oh my God,
someone needs to make a video of that with an actual like freeze frame on that exact moment with that with the to be continued.
An actual boxer, my one weakness. And then
fucking tell me that when he's facing someone that's not from outside of the sport entirely or 50 fucking years old, he actually loses?
Dude. I know I shouldn't, but I always encourage people to find their joy and hope wherever they can. When I tell you I am going to subsist on this shit for too fucking long. Oh my God. But then honestly, Jake Paul's an asshole, whatever. But Andrew Tate getting fucking clocked. Oh, you know what? I normally don't like to do this, and I know it makes your body tense up, but I gotta. Oh.
Yeah, no, that doesn't bother me at all, actually.
Oh, nice, because I just did it twice. Oh God, that That is fucking delectable. This human trafficking, misogynistic, fucking raging, oh, you're all in the Matrix and I'm not because I own these. You're fucking empty. You're fucking soulless. You're pathetic. And just to know that all this shit you talk about being a real man and men are weak and why would you enjoy eating? Food is disgusting. He's actually said this, by the way. This isn't me going off the rails. And
no,
why
dude,
would you?
They're like, it's literally like too fucking far gone. Like they are so far in the rabbit hole. They're finding the Earth's fucking rotten core.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Like this is like a philosophy that says having sex with women is gay.
Yeah, yeah, and we've heard that too.
Unironically, I'm not making it up. What I just said sounds so ridiculous. You probably think that I'm exaggerating or being hyperbolic. I'm fucking not. These people actually say shit like this.
Yeah. And to see him get his fucking shit rocked, my God, just amazing. Wait a minute. I'm just seeing news here for the first time. This is from a few days ago, but this is getting more frightening. I just want to corroborate this real quick before we wrap up the show because we just need to keep warning and sounding the alarm about fascism. Let me see if I can corroborate this. Where did this come from? Because it's always good to vet your sources, especially in the age of AI, people. You never know what's fear-mongering and what isn't.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, bud. You ain't kidding.
Let's see. Oh, well, this might have been like an older piece because I'm not saying anything new, but back in 2024, and I'm only saying it because maybe it was renewed. I don't know. But Trump did say that anybody that got deported would have serial numbers, which obviously is making people think of Holocaust Nazi Germany because Jews were branded with their own numbers. So yeah, again, tell me how this isn't a white supremacist, racist, or just Nazi-inspired administration. Just the idea that he even said it, old or not. Like, again, people, these are fucking fascists. And as somebody said, it didn't start with the camps. It started with the fucking paperwork. What you're seeing...
Keep in mind, too, when I say we, I mean the U.S. as a country inspired Hitler.
Yes.
With slavery.
Yes.
It started in the U.S. really with the slavery, and then, Hitler was inspired by the way that the U.S. managed to subjugate so many people, and so now it's kind of a circular, cyclical thing where now it's like coming back even worse.
Yeah, no, I think Hitler in Mein Kampf, he openly expresses admiration for Jim Crow and just the caste system in the U.S.
Exactly.
Which. I mean, again, I don't want to live in a planet with fascists or racists or anything else. I mean, I've taken hope.
By the way, did you hear anything about Puka Nacua this week?
No.
Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua did the fucking greedy Jew hands taunt after a touchdown this past weekend and did one of those half-assed apologies where he apologizes to those who he offended.
Oh yeah.
And apparently this whole thing came from he hangs out with Aiden Ross.
Oh God, isn't he like a rabid anti-Semite or something? Because I know I've heard that name before.
He's buddies with Ben Shapiro, I think, actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Actually, no, that can't be right. Let me
find
more info on it. Because, I mean, if nothing else, Ben Shapiro actually calls out anti-Semitism, sometimes even to the degree that he's, Zionist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see if I can find this shit. Here we go. Oh, fuck! I confused right-wing grifters. This Aiden Ross dude hangs out with your favorite right-wing grifter, Nick Fuentes.
Of course. Yeah, birds of a feather, right?
Yeah. I just figured I'd bring that up because we're talking about Andrew Tate, and I feel like Aiden Ross is kind of Andrew Tate adjacent.
Yes.
Isn't Andrew Tate's brother's name even Aiden?
No, it's Tristan. I think it's Tristan Tate.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's so funny too. If you really want to get into the fucking weeds of these toxic masculine pieces of shit, it's kind of funny how many of them have weak ass sounding names.
Yeah. They're the real fucking beta males.
Please don't hurt me, Tristan.
God, when you mock other people that are pieces of shit, it pops me every time. I'm just gonna watch one more time.
You're such a fucking Chad, Andrew.
God, see, that is the one seminar that men should pay for, is you just schooling everyone in tone. I would pay for it. I know you'd give me lessons for fucking free, but nah, I'd pay for that shit. So listen, folks,
you know what the Joker said, when you're good at something, never do it for free.
Exactly. So listen, folks, before I take us home, which I know we've all probably mercifully been waiting for, I'm just going to watch Andrew Tate get punched out one more time. Oh, fucking rock that milk dud ass. Fucking Caillou head looking ass. All right. Well, that was great, everybody.
Send that clip to my mom. She wants to see it too.
Oh, bestie. Bestie, I fucking got you, okay? You don't have to worry about that.
Send her the Andrew Tate one and the Jake Paul one if you can.
Yeah, the Jake Paul one is just a picture, but it's a picture that
the clip was posted earlier too.
Oh, the clip was posted earlier?
Yeah,
okay,
DBK
then I'll
posted the clip.
DBK, merci. Fucking beautiful, DBK. Thank you. All right, that's the Andrew Tate one.
I'm gonna post it in our group chat that we've got.
Oh God, laughing at these chuds is so fucking cathartic for me. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. So yeah, guys, that's great. And that's the other thing too. Like, be vigilant, keep fighting, don't compromise. But also, you gotta remember these people are fucking losers, and you gotta laugh at them. Laughing at Jake Paul and Andrew Tate, especially Andrew Tate, has done wonders for my mental health, I gotta tell you. So yeah, guys, with that, I'm John. This is my coordinate competition. This has been TwitWow, the best podcast on the internet today. Leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon notifications so you don't miss any of that TwitWow goodness. Check out everything we're involved in Industry Schmucks. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch, because we are the best podcast on the internet today. And yeah, we'll see you guys again probably at some point this week for Motor Gold or Stardom or whatever the hell. And yeah, just enjoy football tomorrow as we get closer to Christmas. We are now 4 days until Christmas, y'all.
I think we should postpone recordings this week, because our normal Motor Gold recording day is Christmas Eve, and our normal Stardom recording day is Christmas Day.
That is true, and this is a time for families. So yeah, probably no recordings this week, so we can all enjoy the holidays with those we love.
We will be back in a week though, on Saturday the 27th. To do another weekly recap. We get to talk about our weeks.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll see you guys then. Enjoy football tomorrow for all those that watch. And otherwise, just have a relaxed time. I am so excited for my Sunday tomorrow. I'm gonna get my.
There were already a couple games tonight. The Eagles beat the Commanders as expected, but the Bears beat the Packers in an absolute thriller. They literally won the game in overtime. It was sick.
God damn! So another overtime this week. That's pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, dude. The Bears were down 16-6, and they made the comeback to tie it 16-16 at the end of regulation, and then they won in overtime.
Yeah, goddamn. All right, guys. Well, it seems like the season's really heating up. So again, for all that watch, enjoy it. For those that don't, if you're like me, just have fun with it. I'm reading a shit ton. I'm looking to get a little baked tomorrow. I'm enjoying my holiday season, or I'm trying to. Don't let the fascists get you down too hard, but also fuck them up. So we'll see you guys next Saturday again. No recordings this week. It's the holiday week, and yeah, we'll just reconvene. We'll talk about stuff then. Till then, be good to yourselves and each other. Look out for each other as best you can. Tune in. Peace out.